I just wanted to jump on and speak to those single moms out there. I feel you do such a good job, and a lot of times it feels like it goes unnoticed. But I want you to know it doesn't go unnoticed. The value that you add to mankind by raising your children the best way that you can, by being there for your children, it's invaluable. And I am speaking from experience. So this message is basically for single moms and of course for anyone else for whom this message resonates. And I specifically wanted to speak about how difficult it can be when you are going through financial difficulties as a single parent. So just a little bit about my story. At the ripe age of 21, I got married. And I had my son and daughter. I was married for about 13 years. And quite frankly, right from the start, when I got married, I knew that I was making a mistake. So for it to have lasted for 13 years, of which 3 of those years that we were separated, was kind of a miracle in itself because we were just so incompatible. But obviously when I got married, the idea was never that, oh, you're going to end up as a single mom. That is like the furthest thing from your mind. And it happened to me, as it does for many others, because I was so young. You just didn't know what life was about. You didn't know who you were. I didn't know who I was at that time. There was so much more maturity that needed to happen. But ultimately, that is the path that I chose, so to speak, from a higher perspective. Obviously, you think to yourself, well, I didn't choose this path, but realize and be aware that every choice you made is basically what led you to the ultimate choice of getting married, maybe choosing the wrong person for you, or things just not working out, and then ending up where you become a single mom. So just the whole title of single mom, I kind of want to say just throw that in the dustbin. Throw that into the garbage bin if it's an international audience. And what I mean by that is there's such a negative frequency attached to being a single mom, when in fact it's such a beautiful thing. You have chosen a path that's going to build so much character. So much character. And I remember going through being a single parent. It felt so overwhelming. And I remember, you know, when we would have get-togethers with family, or when I would just meet up with some family for coffee, and the topic moved around to, you know, being a single parent. The impression that they got of me was that I was handling things amazingly well. I was so strong. Why were other single moms complaining? I never complained. But I will tell you that that is not the experience, how it felt on the inside. On the inside, I felt like I was struggling. On the inside, I felt completely overwhelmed. On the inside, I felt like a failure. I thought I wouldn't get the hang of this. And one of the challenges that I had was especially around my finances. So I was not a person that had a tertiary education. I finished my matric and I had to go and work. I was in that kind of situation where as a teenager I went to live with my grandparents, and they were not at the means to be able to send me for tertiary education, apart from the fact that from a religious perspective, in the religion that I grew up in with my grandmom, tertiary education was not advocated. So all of that was also playing in the background. So I had to basically go into a job where my finances would not be limited to a salary that would limit what I'm able to live in terms of a lifestyle. So I went into sales because the potential existed. The potential existed for me to make quite a lot of money. And fortunately for me, I was quite successful in the sales field. And in terms of finances, it didn't work out too badly. In fact, it worked out really well. But going through all of that, nonetheless, to me, felt very, very stressful. I was worried all the time. Would I be able to pay the bills this month? And even when I was making a lot of money, that anxiety would not leave me. And that is how I got into self-help, because I thought, there must be a way for me to be able to make things better for myself, because I couldn't see myself going on. It was just so hard on my body, being anxious all the time, feeling stressed out all the time, feeling overwhelmed by all these responsibilities that I perceived myself to have. And I wasn't a person for asking for help. So if you're going through this difficult kind of situation, I'm hoping that you are open to receiving help. My family would gladly have helped me, but I was not a person to ask for help. And I was fortunate enough that I have friendships and family that when they saw I needed help, without me having to ask, they actually supported me. But from my perspective, it obviously didn't feel like enough. And that was just my perspective, And the reason that I was going through all of that was because of the perspective I had of myself. Deep down, I had this program. And this is a program that we all have. All of mankind has this to different levels or degrees. And that is a program of feeling unworthy. The reason I ended up in the marriage that I ended up in was because I felt unworthy. I was settling, and the reason I was settling, as in not the person being settling for the person, but in settling for the kind of relationship that we were creating as a partnership. The reason that I was able to settle for that is because I didn't feel worthy of more. I didn't feel lovable. Now remember, this is happening all on an unconscious level, because I know that I am lovable and I know that I'm worthy, even then. And I thought that I was operating from that, but I wasn't. And that is how I got into self-help, and I realized, I've got a lot of belief systems running and creating my life for me that is not for my highest good, is not to my highest potential. And so as I mentioned with regards to finances, I really felt that from the way that I grew up and all the examples that I had around me, I formed the belief system that money is a struggle. Money is hard to come by. You have to work hard for money. You will never be financially abundant. You will never be financially free. Great things are just not meant to happen to you, only for others. It is unbelievable, the rubbish that I believed in. And it's only by exposing your belief systems and bringing them into the light and bringing them into consciousness that you're able to change it. And even then it is quite difficult. And that is how I fell onto the path of studying hypnotherapy. Because I realized, hypnotherapy is all about working with the subconscious mind. And I realized I needed to be able to find a way to communicate and partner up with my subconscious mind. And I would encourage you to do the same. And so I just want to say, if you are now going through this difficult situation of feeling worried and anxious about whether you can take care of your family, provide for them, keep them safe, give them the best, take care of their needs, then I just want to say to you that I'm so sorry that you are going through that. And I want to ask you to have that same compassion for yourself. When I was going through that challenging time of feeling so overwhelmed and feeling disconnected, because I was in such survival mode. I was completely disconnected from my inner wisdom. And it's only through realizing the importance of connecting with that inner wisdom, that higher self, that I was able to get a handle on things. And so I encourage you to, if you're not someone that meditates, take that time out to just sit and take that 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, that time just for yourself to just connect with your inner self and feel your feelings. So this was the other thing that I did. I was so afraid of feeling my feelings. I was so afraid of feeling that I'm stressed. I was so afraid of feeling I'm anxious. I was so afraid of feeling I'm worried. I'm so afraid of feeling fear. And that is something that we need to look at, because that's where our power lies. Feeling is where our power lies. You need to realize that you are this loving, safe space, that your feelings are allowed to flow through. Because if you don't feel your feelings, if you suppress your feelings, which is what happens when you are a child, you don't have the capability, the capacity to process your feelings, and you stuff it down, and you're encouraged to stuff it down. And when you get a hiding, you're told, why are you crying? Stop crying. And you have to stuff those feelings down. And we're taught to stuff down our feelings, and it does you no good to do that. But it does require a capability to be able to sit with your feelings, breathe through it, and feel it. But when you start doing that, when you are able to do that with feelings that don't feel great, with feelings that feel uncomfortable, when you are able to do that, what happens is you are not pushing down on the feelings that feels wonderful. You are not pushing down on love and joy and excitement, because love, joy, and excitement is inherently who you are, and that is at the core of you. And then moving away from it, you get these heavier frequencies of feelings that feel bad. And when you don't allow those feelings to flow through your body and you suppress it, you also don't allow for joy to be able to come through. You don't allow for love to be able to come through. You don't allow for compassion to come through. You don't allow for excitement to come through. So the skill of learning to sit with your feelings, to not be afraid of your feelings, to breathe through your feelings, which is such a great thing to do in meditation, that skill is going to transform your life. It will transform your life. So I definitely encourage you to sit with your feelings, feel them, realize you are not your feelings. Realize that you are not your feelings. The feeling you're having is just an experience of that feeling that flows through you. But you yourself, you are the image of God. God is love, so you are love. And it is for us to bring out more of that love and anchor it in our physical reality. So I just want to come back to specifically, as I was saying, about when you're a single parent, when you're a single mother, it can be very challenging, the financial aspect of your life. And I just want to illustrate to you how you speak to yourself compassionately. The way you speak to yourself compassionately is by using words like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you are going through this challenging time. I'm so sorry it feels so bad for you. I'm so sorry it has to be so hard for you. I'm so sorry you're struggling. I'm so sorry you're feeling overwhelmed, not having enough money to pay your bills. I'm so sorry you don't see your way out of the situation. I'm so sorry that it feels like this is just going to continue forever and ever and there'll be no end to it. I'm so sorry you feel so much anxiety around money. I'm so sorry you feel in such deep survival mode. I'm so sorry you feel unsupported. I'm so sorry you don't know what to do with yourself. I'm really so sorry you're going through such a hard time. I never gave myself that compassion. And when you give yourself that compassion, you allow those feelings to flow through you. You allow yourself to release those feelings. And you are stronger for it. So for any of you feeling that you need more support in identifying what these limiting beliefs are that you have around money, what these limiting beliefs are that you have about yourself in relationship to money. For any of you that feel that you need a little bit more support in being able to process all of that, you're welcome to drop me an email. My email will be linked at the bottom. It may even be on the screen. Drop me an email and request for me to send you the audio that I have made, which is in the format of having a session where you're able to dissolve these limiting beliefs around money through compassion and through communicating with your subconscious mind. And along with that, I'll also give you the transformational recording so that you can live the financial life where the picture that you have of what you want that to look like can come true for you, which is basically to feel competent, to feel strong, to know that you're able to take care of yourself, to take care of your family, to know that you are safe. Because the thing about not having money, it's really about a belief that you have that you're not safe. So those are all the kind of things, those are all the kind of beliefs that in that session I dissolve for you. This audio is available for a donation. So email me if you want that. It's about dissolving your financial blocks. The donation, whatever you feel inspired to invest in yourself, whatever you can afford. I know I'm working with single mothers and finances are a challenge, and I do not want your financial situation to stand in the way of you getting this audio via the session, via the audio, as well as the transformational recording. So as I've mentioned, drop me an email and I will send that to you for a donation. And for anyone interested in having a session with me, you're welcome to drop me an email and we'll set up that session for you. So I want you to know that as a single mom, I was a single mom for probably, my kids were very young when I separated and got divorced. They were 3 and 6 years old, and they are now young adults. And I have remarried, I'm happily remarried. And I want you to know that by investing in yourself in terms of taking the time to meditate, to connect with yourself, to connect with your higher self, you will get through this. You are so much stronger than you believe yourself to be. This experience that you're having now is not going to last forever. And you have a chance to get a handle on it. You have the capability to do that. Believe in yourself. Source believes in you. You are from Source. Source is love. The universe is love. God is love. You are the image of God. You are love. It's time for you to live from that place, to be that, and see how your life is able to transform. Thank you so much for your time. If you think anyone else can benefit from this video, please share it with them. Thank you for subscribing. I'll be putting out more videos around this topic of the challenges that single moms go through. And yeah, you have a good day, and I look forward to chatting with you again.